as the CEO of Mansfield Town when she was 29, spoke little of her politics and law degrees.
Well, somebody better get down there and explain offside to her.
Yeah, I know. You leave that. Female license. That's exactly what I said. Women don't know the offside to her. Why
If 100 fans can be allowed to chant sexist abuse at elite women working in the football industry, that is appalling, and it shows that it's really been left off the agenda.
This is not the first time, is it? Didn't we have one before?
Yeah.
Wendy Toms.
Wendy Toms or something like that, yeah.
Crowd was singing Karen Brady as a whole.
Any remarks that did come my way, it just kind of like went over your head sort of thing.
Sexual harassment, discrimination, really upsetting.
Quite happily, without any action being taken against you, say to someone, what do you know, you're a woman.
Sexism has always been an ongoing social issue faced since the 15th century, but over time the prejudices and the discrimination towards women have been politically corrected. But yet, football, the world's most favoured sport, has adopted sexism as what seems to be a culture.
The charming Karen Brady this morning complaining about sexism. Yeah, do me a favour, love.
If you've got a beautiful girl and you've got a load of men, there's always going to be a bit of banter.
The late 1800s and 1900s, women's football was played then. It started way back, but it was never accepted, and I think that happens in a lot of sports, not just football.
Sexism is still the problem that few are willing to tackle.
Charlotte's going to chuck this down here for me, look. Charlotte.
The two Sky Sport presenters caught making sexist remarks about a female match official have apologised.
The profound chanting and sexist abuse is experienced not only on the field and amongst the crowds, but also in the workplace and behind the scenes of every football organisation. In your opinion, would you say sexism exists in football?
Yes, yeah, it does. It does.
Do you feel that because you're so involved in the women's game, this has been detrimental towards you in working the men's professional game?
I'd like to say no, not really, but it does seem to be a problem. It does seem that even from when I first started, that people questioned why I would want to go and work in girls and women's football. But I was a rare breed at the time anyway, because I was one of the first A-licensed male coaches to go into women's football from the men's game. It wasn't something I just started doing. So, yes, I would say it does tar you with a brush, as far as some people are concerned. They think because you're involved in women's and girls football, then maybe you can't coach in men's football. But I've proved differently in the past, so it makes that one invalid, but it does seem to affect some people's way of thinking in it.
Why is there such a lack of interest in women's football?
I think it's ignorance and naivety. You know, the reality is football, certainly in English culture anyway, has always been recognised as a man's game.
Despite her busy schedule, former women's goalkeeper for England, Pauline Cope, kindly agreed to this interview. During her time in football, Pauline has earned 60 caps for England's national football team. Ted Copeland, England's coach at the former competition, described Cope as the best female goalkeeper in the world. Do you feel there's sexism involved in women's football, not just for women involved in the game, but also the men involved?
Because now there's more publicity, there's more money, there's more media attention. Now the men that didn't want to touch women's football because it was unheard of, now all of a sudden want to become involved in women's football because of the money, because of the media attention, and because men now want to get involved in the women's game because of the media attention and the money and the publicity it brings. And this.
In your day, you're not paid for being the goalkeeper of England's national team. Do you think that the women's game can ever reach the heights of the men's game in terms of salary?
Personally, I don't think it will, because even though they would never get the crowds that they would get, not on a weekly basis. I know at the Olympics at Wembley they got 70,000 people against Brazil. That was a one-off. Personally, well, having said that, I don't really know, because I never thought in my lifetime women's football would ever get paid to play. Women will ever be pro footballers. That was just a pipe dream when I was a kid, and unfortunately I was too old to enjoy it because I'd retired. But will they ever get to the salary of the men? I'll be very, very surprised if they do. Very surprised.
CEO and founder of English Soccer School, James Raj, discusses the differences in women's football overseas compared to the UK. What do you think are the major issues facing women's football in being taken seriously?
I think there's a certain amount of prejudice and maybe culture.
What do you think can be done by the FA to change this mentality?
I think the FA are doing quite a good job at the moment. They're doing their best. Obviously a lot more marketing and promotion, and probably reaching out on social media, which I think is very important in just trying to establish the fact that women have the right to play football at whatever level, and possibly encouraging it more in schools and taking away the stigma.
Footballers are like actors. They perform on the theatrical stage, striving to delight their audience. The drama, the anticipation, the emotion, the passion, and the teamwork.
It was in 1863 when the game was officially codified in London. The game has graced our country and made us proud. With its majestic beauty, triumphant outcomes, highs and lows, it has charmed the hearts of millions. So much has changed, but the only one remaining constant between its freshly cut grass and you is our love for football. Being a part of football makes you a part of the family. Loving football makes you part of the home. It brings people together. It doesn't push them away.